The harvest, fruit and vegetables, the season started already actually with asparagus and of course goes right on through well into October with apples, etc. And we've covered this on the show before because I keep saying that people I know, friends of mine indeed, have applied for fruit picking jobs and can't get any jobs, yet we're told there's a shortage. Well, into all of this today strode Prince Charles to talk about Pick for Britain. Let's listen to him.
At this time of great uncertainty, many of our normal routines and regular patterns of life are being challenged. The food and farming sector is no exception. If we are to harvest British fruit and vegetables this year, we need an army of people to help. Food does not happen by magic. It all begins with our remarkable farmers and growers. If the last few weeks have proved anything, it is that food is precious and valued, and it cannot be taken for granted. This is why that great movement of the Second World War, the Land Army, is being rediscovered in the newly created Pick for Britain campaign. In the coming months, many thousands of people will be needed to bring in the crops. It will be hard graft, but is hugely important if we are to avoid the growing crops going to waste. Harvesting runs until early autumn, and people are needed who are genuinely going to commit. The phrase I've often heard is pickers who are stickers. Now, I do not doubt that the work will be unglamorous and at times challenging, but it is of the utmost importance, and at the height of this global pandemic, you will be making a vital contribution to the national effort. So I can only urge you to pick for Britain.
So that was Prince Charles urging us to pick for Britain and bringing up analogies of the Land Army, the women particularly that went out and worked in the fields in the early 1940s. As I say, I've talked about this before, and George Eustace, the Environment Minister, who of course comes from a family that run fruit farms, was talking about this today, and he said, oh, well, we've got a website, Pick for Britain, which apparently has gone down, but it really isn't good enough. You know, a colleague of mine, former Brexit Party colleague, but a farmer, businessman called Rupert Lowe, member of the European Parliament Agriculture Committee, wrote to Eustace on the 4th of May to say, look, something fishy is happening here. It would appear that many farmers don't want British pickers because they want to bring people in from Romania and Bulgaria because those people then stay in their accommodation, stay in their caravans, stay in pretty low quality accommodation. And of course, the money they pay for that is tax-free money for the farmers. Now, to be fair, farmers are under huge pressure, particularly from the supermarkets. But that's been my suspicion all through this. And when I heard yesterday that the so-called quarantining at the airports that Boris Johnson promised us 9 days ago, there might be exceptions and exemptions, certain air bridges to certain countries with low coronavirus rates, I wouldn't be surprised if in a few weeks' time there weren't lots and lots of flights coming in from Romania and Bulgaria. It would appear that is what our farmers want. And I don't buy the argument that all the Brits are useless and lazy. I just don't buy it. And I do also wonder that some people who are working on these farms are working in conditions that are not too far away from modern-day slave labour. And I wonder whether that's good enough. Had some